What up, JCIRL fam, and welcome back. I'm back from my hiatus, guys. I took a week off because a lot has been going on with the murder of Floyd and the unrest of civilization searching for justice. It's been a lot, and I have been reserving comments because I don't want to act out in emotion. As we see what happens when people lash out in emotion, they riot, they tearing down their communities, and this is something that is counterproductive to our society, to the movement of seeking justice. We have to stay sharp. We have to stay on point with our purpose, with what we mean behind our anger. We have to understand that looting and destroying our community is not the way, that there are better ways to get our point across. There are better ways to find justice. Today, I'm coming with you from a couple verses from chapter 12 of Romans. Hopefully this gives you some enlightenment on how we can attack this. And after I give you the verse, I'll just give you a spill on how I feel and the realistic way of how we can affect change in real time. So chapter 12 reads this: I appeal to you, therefore, brothers and sisters, by the mercy of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. For by the grace given to me, I say to everyone among you, not to think of yourselves more highly than you ought to think, but to think with sober judgment, each according to the measure of faith that God has assigned. For as in one body we have many members, and not all members have the same function. So we who are many are in one body in Christ, and individually we are members of one another. What does this mean? This text is telling you here that you should first seek God and then use your beings, use your energy to seek God and to do what is right. Do what is acceptable to God. Do you think destroying your community is acceptable to God? Do you think condemning every police officer is acceptable? You have to remember that police officers are human too. You know what I mean? Not every police officer is killing black people or killing white people or any people. Not all police act unethically. So this is something that we must use. We must do not conform to the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Conforming to the world. There's evil in the world. Just because evil happens to us, we should not then turn back and then conform to that evil and then turn it back on them and be just as bad. Just because cops are blindly killing black people, just any black person, pulling them over and then just automatic hand on the gun. You don't know, you just automatically writing them off as a criminal. You don't know if that man is a criminal. You don't know if that man is a lawyer, doctor, father. The problem is the lack of integrity with our officers. The problem is there's something wrong with the process of becoming an officer, what it means to be an officer of the law. Somewhere along the lines, it has been acceptable to let psychotic, racist, supremacist people wield the badge. And not only wielding the badge, but then using that badge as a get out of jail free card to kill unjustly. I don't want to speak emotionally. This is why I've been taking this time to really focus my thoughts on what I want to say to you guys, how I want to encourage you through the Spirit. It says, for by the grace given to me, I say unto everyone among you to not think of yourself more highly than you ought to think. So that means don't big yourself up. Don't be so angry and feel like you can take justice. You are just a man, you're just a woman, you are a citizen. I understand you're angry, but that does not give you the right to riot. That does not give you a right to tear down your communities. It doesn't give you the right. Don't forget who you are. Remember, you work at Wendy's and you got kids to feed. Remember, you got to pay rent. I know COVID's out here. There's a combination of things going on that is setting up for the coming of the Antichrist. I truly believe so, and I'll say it blankly for you. You feel some type of way about it, you feel differently, leave something in the comment section and we can talk about it. But I'm trying to tell you that we must look with sober minds. It says it here in the text. Is what the Apostle Paul is saying to the Roman church in Romans. It said to think with sober judgment. That is something that we're missing. We're high and we're drunk off of anger. We're drunk on emotions. There's people who I've never seen champion black men no more than they do now. I'm not trying to take nothing away from it, but what I'm trying to say is keep that same energy 6 months from now. There's a lot of people just on the bandwagon of emotion. You're riding the emotion. We've been in the house on quarantine for months now. We've been waiting to lash out. Oh, and this is the perfect reason. But may I remind you, cops have been killing black men for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. Do I have to remind you of Eric Garner, Trayvon, or the guy in Georgia who just got gunned down by some white, racists? Excuse me for not forgiving having his name written. Ahmad, you know what I'm talking about. This stuff isn't new. We have to sober ourselves and look at the problem so then we can find a proper solution. Rioting and looting is only giving the police, you're justifying them beating you now. You're justifying them shooting you now. We don't want to do that. Take that away. Don't give them that power. Don't start. Death gets power when we sin. If we do not sin, death has no power. Now, as long as we're giving the cops reason to suit up and get riot gear, we're giving them reasons to load their guns, it's gonna get worse for you and nothing's gonna get better. We're not making progress. We're going in the wrong direction. So stop. Stop being drunk off your emotions. Think with a sober mind. How can we fix this problem? And I have a solution. Here's my solution. We have to look at the process. We need stricter guidelines. We need also like the psychologists who go through these evals. Every time a cop shoots a gun or shoots somebody, they have to go to the psychologist and they have to go through this whole process. We need to make sure that these psychologist evals are getting looked after and they have proper guidelines that if certain red flags are raised, they can't get around it. We need to start charging the lieutenants, the captains, and the psychologists for murder because they're allowing these psychopaths to carry weapons and they should equally be charged because they're putting them back out there and they know they ain't supposed to be wielding a gun. They know they're not supposed to be in that squad car. There should also be whistleblower laws for fellow police officers because police officers know when a fellow police officer ain't right. But they have this culture, cops protect cops. You got to protect the blue badge, blue, we need to do away with that. Because cops are citizens on patrol. You're just a citizen like us. And you should be subject to the same rules and regulations as we are, and that's what we're upset about, right? But here's the real problem. We get upset and emotionally upset when after we get killed. Let's take a proactive approach at this. Let's stop the psychopath before he gets into the squad car. Let's make sure that there are strict rules and procedures and policies in place to make sure that people who are hired to protect civilization are in their right minds, are worthy enough. If you know of any other way that we can engage in this fight politically, please leave a comment below. I will share your information because our people need to be empowered with the information of the correct process to come about change, to bring about change. We are angry and ready. Now is the time. I'm happy that we're unified on a specific topic, but because we don't have a leader, we're aimless. We're just running around aimless. We need a shepherd. If you know someone, or if you're that shepherd, I encourage you to speak out, to step up, and to lead us in the right direction. Because now is the time. The revolution is televised. Thank you for joining me for an episode of JCIRL. I look forward to building with you all. And may glory be to God, to whatever is to come next. Peace.